Hello, everybody. Welcome to Market Moves. First time in a while. Hey, Jay, how are you?
Good, Wiz. It's good to be back.
Yeah,
Platform's back. Our trades are back. So yeah, it's like the band is back together here.
yeah. I see you haven't gotten a haircut since the last time we
No,
talked. Like
I actually probably think I did, but it's been it hasn't been that long. It's been just a week and a half that we haven't seen each other. Wiz, come on now. I know you missed me, man.
yeah. It's been interesting. At some point in time, we will talk about what happened. But right now, personally, we are kind of out from under the thumb of the kind of bad actors, and now I'm kind of focused, especially from your guys' point of view, moving forward. So at this point in time, um, Volland is still coming up. We have so many exciting things. Over the past 3 years now, um, I've been kind of doing this Volland thing, and every time I kind of think, if I would have had to do it all over again, I probably would have done this instead of this. But it was kind of pricey at the time to do anything about it. Now it's not, like kind of got forced into implementing all those possible lessons into what could be, and there's a lot of positive things coming. So everybody stay tuned. Things at Volland are very exciting now, and we're moving forward. Especially as far as you guys are all concerned. So we're moving forward, and we're very excited about all the kind of features and things that we are now capable of doing because of the 3 years of lessons and rebuilds that we've had. And the first thing to note, as Jay will tell you whether he likes it or not, is all update times are the same, and they're 1 to 2. I think right now they're 2 minutes. They will be 1 minute at some, soon. So that's exciting, right, Jay? Our processing has sped up quite a bit.
No, the processing speed, like I know a lot of people are gonna have to get a little bit adjusted to the intervals, if they were used to a Volun live before, but I think there's positives there. I mean, there will be some of that adjustment, but for entries and exits right before Catalyst, right? Like there are some positives to having a lot of that momentum and data changing. But as you do with anything, learn, test drive it, adjust to it, especially if you're trading anything zero DTE, right? I mean, I was looking at it last week, nothing looked, I'm used to live, obviously, right? So for those who are unaware, I've been on the live platform. So I'm excited. Like the data is going to be better. We're going to have more features coming out. And so this is just like, hey, we're just getting to feature parity, but wait until Wiz and team here, you know, really get, wave 2 and 3 going in full stream for us. So I can't wait for it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm excited myself. I've had some of these like kind of little data points in the background for our hedge fund and stuff like that, and now we're going to make them more or less public. So it's because now we have the even calculation capacity to do that. So I'm very excited about what's upcoming. So enough about what's in the future of Volland. Let's talk about what's in the future of markets. So
Yeah.
what do you see, Jay? What are your plans? And let's talk about it.
Yeah, I
Excited
mean, like
here.
it's
This is like it's like a little bit nostalgic here. Here we go.
yeah, it's a reunion here. So I mean, just to remind everyone, the last time we were here on the show, we were trading in the 64.43s. All right, that's how low we were. That was the last swing low of this cycle, even. So we reached last week a high of 66.99. Funny, we just didn't even crack 6,700. Just went right for 66.99. That's in honor of Mitch, one of our former Volland subs. I think if you'd remember that, Wiz, you'd remember Mitch. Anyway, moving on. Last week, just in market context here, we came in to 65.80. We closed well above that at 66.43. that was I don't know. I poked in a couple times here last week, finally, just to say I'm alive, kind of thing, Wiz. So appreciate you checking in on me and saying where's Dark at. But I've been in the Discord, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
was looking for 65.80 for like a swing low last week, or at least as a target. We got that. That level held nicely. Why I call that out, that is the FOMC candle wick, I'll just call it, the gap that occurred out of FOMC. So that 65.80 level, even into 65.50, held nicely. We moved on. That's the low on the week there. As we're going through this trading plan, just keep in mind the ES to SPX offset is roughly about 52 points. Here's my TLDR, Wiz. I think we're in a two-sided kind of sideways chop action again until we get to our catalyst. That might be later this week when we start to look at those. But more specifically, I think we're kind of stuck here. What you'll see in Volland, I know we still have to put in some more trades, right? At least what we're seeing right now, I think you're going to look at a retest, or we almost have, of that 6675, 6700 zone there. And then if you're a bull looking for a breakout trade, you're going to probably have to wait for Friday, is my guess, maybe even Thursday, where you'll start to see that non-farm payroll, the unemployment rate come in. And last but not least, the volatility that is not predicted here in this event catalyst is the government shutdown. I can't tell you how Trump is going to react, nor what does he want besides he will cut jobs, he will cut employment, he will shut down the government if it comes up to him and if Congress does not pass a deal. So I'll quickly pause. I've said it quite a bit there, Wiz.
So
After the catalyst, your thoughts?
yeah, for government shutdown, historically, there has not been a consistent market reaction to government shutdowns. So event vol is actually quite low. Like it's as if the stock market is not paying attention. I think the biggest thing from a government shutdown is the Census Bureau and the Department of Labor statistics will be affected. And that means that Friday non-farm payroll timing may not is, I would say that's more certain than the actual whatever number it would be. That there's a chance that you can that report can be delayed. And it is kind of, seeing unemployment go up, even though that helps Trump's cause for lower interest rates, seems to be embarrassing for Trump. So I don't think him and his freshly installed crony would be against delaying that. Why does that matter? Because right now there's a ton of event vol for Friday. And if because vol is up, and if the government shuts down and Trump says, or Trump or the Department of Labor statistics, whatever, says that the Friday non-farm payroll report would be delayed by a week or something like that in order to account for the shutdown, there's a possible trade there. You can sell these Friday options and buy next Friday options. It isn't a certain thing, but I think it is something that is not priced into the options right now. And, I guess we'll look at Volland soon and you can see your levels, but what would a compression of Vanna without any data, what would that look like? And so I think that's the thing that we have to see in this week's Volland. So yeah, personally, I'm, I think that's a trade that we can take advantage of, at least from an option standpoint.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Kind of play the volatility game here, or at least the compression of it back after the event, right? So I like that. Let's maybe jump in. Let's look at some levels, and there might be some suggestions there for us to look into. So high level, the market makers are expecting about a 87 point move for the week. So that puts us roughly on the upper side at about 67.30. lower bands about 65.56 for what the options market expects us to move into. I'm going to skip the volume profile here because we're going to kind of go over it. But as I was kind of looking yesterday, and we'll jump into the Volland platform here, this was like a great move overnight to trade. Like, I love when Volland, and I did trade it, just FYI. So I didn't get as much sleep as you could imagine because I was trading, the futures action. I can't stop now that we're back. Anyway, 66.50 was essentially kind of a key pivot, right? When we looked at especially lower time frames, and let me bounce over here now. As I was looking at a lot of the Vanna, a lot of the Gamma here, it looked like, hey, we hold that 66.50, and I'll hold the weekly even here. I know you still don't have all the data, or all the trades, I should say, of other days. But this literally stood out to me, right? Like, regardless, this is 100 million, 50 million. On a weekly, you have a tower like this just clearly sticking out. There's going to be some action there. And if you look at overnight futures, that's where we consolidated for quite a bit, Wiz. And once we sprung out of there, the dealers started buying. We already hit the level I was expecting to, which was, there we go, 6,700 is a resistance level. You do have 67.15 if it does poke above it. When I started to look at the Gamma, let me now jump over there here. You will kind of see we are in the zone of negative Gamma, especially up until 66.80 here. And there's a little bit range of volatility that's going to happen, some whipsaw action that can occur. So I took my trade at 66.75. We are a few points above that now. But essentially, that was what I was looking for intraday. I still think for the week that's a key critical level. Will we come back down there? If it gets tested, it will play a big part. I'll quickly pause, though. Is your thoughts?
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing to note about what you're talking about, especially, you tend to trade in a lot shorter time frames than me. But the one thing to note is that those big strikes, especially at 66.50, a lot of that is for Tuesday, for quarter end, not so much weekend. There is some for the weekend, but a lot of that's in the quarter end. During these kind of times in which September, we're about to have a quad witching, we had a quad witching, but I mean, we're about to have a quarter end rollover, the JHEQX rollover, and a lot of other, funds do their rebalancing and stuff at the quarter end. So there's I like to look at it more like two expirations. There's one on Tuesday and one on Friday as well. The one on Tuesday is showing very positive Vanna. And, particularly at that 66.50 area, we have a lot of support there. And that's why, I think your trade was very astute into noticing, okay, there's a lot of support here. Let's try to do this bounce. And, congrats. Good on you for making that trade. However, at the end of the week, we're seeing a lot of negative Vanna. A lot of that positive Vanna expires on Tuesday going into Wednesday. And so personally, I'm looking I saw your levels prior, we were talking about 67.30 and, right there, the Vanna is looking at 6,700. If we do hit that, that's a good opportunity for a short going into the end of the week and into October. So, I think that there is kind of we will go up over, we have gone up already pre-market and maybe into tomorrow. And then we might see a pullback going into the October OPEX. I mean, right now I'm completely flat. Like, now I'm a swing trader, so I go to sleep at night. But you can't imagine what your household is like. Your wife wakes up and sees you in front of the screen with with your mouse like glowing.
As long as
I
it's
can't
green,
imagine
baby.
that.
As long as it's green.
Can you picture your kid, Daddy, what are you doing? Hold on, we're
I'm
about to hit a Vanna
trading.
point.
Yeah.
Gotta hit a
I'm
Vanna
in
level.
I'm in a key dealer position here. Gotta exit.
Go get yourself some ice cream. I know it's midnight, whatever. Um, so anyway, my point is I think we will spike up into the end of the month. And then I think October we could start to look for a little bit of a decline, somewhat unrelated to the government shutdown, although that's a convenient excuse, right? So that's kind of what I would be looking at. Or my swing path. Your intraday path though seemed to work pretty well. So
It did. I think I'm with you. I think 6,700 is, as I was kind of looking at just key levels, right? Like it's going to be tough to get through 6,700, right? Let's see. After Tuesday's rebalancing, things could change, obviously, and new positions will be put on at that point in time. So let's keep an eye out for it. I think definitely intraday, I was not expecting to go above 75, 66.75, maybe 66.80 if we had an overbounce. But I think be careful today intraday. This could just become like an upside down V even potentially and mean revert as well. So that's what I'd be looking out for, like shorter time frames, the 6650 to 6700 zone. I think it's just chop, 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 bouncy, bouncy, ping pong kind of like action in there. And I think the gamma, let me go back to the dealer. If you look at, we've got gamma sitting at 6620 to 6660. So like, unless that data point changes, new trades come in, like dealers are going to want to just gravitate, especially on shorter time frames, right back into that zone, right? And that gets you into that Vanna support zone as well. So like, all signs show that zone, but if that zone breaks, watch out, is all I have to say then.
Yeah. I do think tomorrow we could poke above 6,700. Not, and that'd be a good opportunity to play any kind of reversion. So when you were saying chop, 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 by the way, do you remember that cooking show, the Yan Can Cook, where he was like able to chop the carrot really, really fast? That's all I was thinking of. But anyway, go ahead.
I think we know what AI meme I need to create next week.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is. All right, let's jump into here. So, I think just looking at the outlooks, like we got to wait for this rebalance. That's my biggest thing is I'm just looking at Volland. A lot of the data is like you got to wait until 9:30 plays off. In the interim, you're obviously we're going to push up mode as we are, but we're going to start to fade some of those extremes, in my opinion. So like intraday, do take a look at Charm, for any positioning, the Delta intraday as well. That will guide you whether we hold the 6680 or do we peak towards 6700, right? So just keep an eye out on your 0 DTE levels there. As Wiz said, I wouldn't be shocked if we do peak a little bit, make a new all-time high, right? Like we did last week, and then we just slowly sold off the rest of the week, right? So that is a potential scenario. Keep an eye out on it. But if we do break 67 and hold above that on a daily, like you're inbound 6,800 at that point in time. And then more than likely you had some, catalyst between here and Friday that said no government shutdown maybe, or no impact. And let's now think of earnings because that's on deck next. Thoughts, Wiz?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I do think it could be, like I said, an IV crush based on, even if the government does shut down, there could be an IV crush from a lack of NFP report on Friday, because now all that vol has to readjust. So, yeah, just a kind of a thought on that too. So, I mean, that to me is, I think, the most I don't want to say unpredictable, but that's because I'm predicting it, right? But that's the most interesting dynamic that I would be looking for this week, especially in the option space. So
I'm with you. Just again to recap for everyone, and we can jump into some questions or look at anything else. Again, in the interim, 6650, that's your support band, important one. On the upper side, obviously, there's a couple of key levels there, 6685. I think I even saw some gamma at 6690. But basically, from 85 to 70, you just got to watch for a bunch of resistance there. I wouldn't be shocked that in the next half hour you start to get some news potentially that starts to show some of that weakness as we hit the upper range of the zone. So intraday traders, get to your charm, look at your 0TT delta on top of that. Just be careful here not to be chasing something that can, expose itself and be mean reverting of some kind. So
yeah,
that's it on my end. I'll kind of put up my long and short biases and entry points there, but Wiz, go ahead.
Before we get into question, the banner down here talking about our new Discord server. You'll see all of Jay's trade plans and all of his levels. They're now on this Discord server. Please come and join this one. The old one will just be for archive purposes only. Now, if you're asking why do I have to move over? You could ask in the Discord server. But you could just say it's related to the show being canceled the past couple of days. So, but yeah, please, on the bottom there, vollanddiscord.com. It's an automatic invite, and you can, when it clicks, it brings you directly in. So join and ask any questions in the public forum. Don't have to be a subscriber to have access to the general channels. I mean, you do for the sub channels, but then that makes sense, right? So, so yeah, that's well, I just wanted to call attention to that. And then now we'll talk to Yuli, who seems to have a question. Hello, Jay, and I'm assuming ampersand Jay. With the tariffs on pharmaceuticals, would you suspect health insurance premiums to go higher? If so, any signs that Volland is pointing to in regards to these pharmaceutical tariffs? So, first and foremost, Volland is an option positioning service, right? We show flow data. We're not really fundamentals. However, with tariffs on pharmaceuticals, I think I mean it's questionable, because if they're going to domesticate pharmaceutical production, mostly from China. China is where a lot of the pharmaceuticals come from. A lot of the companies are domiciled in like Ireland and in low tax countries, but they manufacture in China and then they ship to America. So would I expect premiums to go higher? Maybe. And I definitely would expect pharmaceutical companies to take a hit. And they did, right? Like Eli Lilly and all these companies, they took a big hit. But I also expect a lot of them to absorb a lot of those costs, especially in America. The profit margins on pharmaceuticals are very, very high. And it's funny, because if you go to like Europe or something, you'll get that same pill for like 20% of the cost. It's kind of ridiculous. So, we basically subsidize the world on pharmaceuticals. So do I suspect health insurance premiums to go higher? I think it will turn into a negotiation between the pharmaceutical company and the health insurance companies, who will not want to spend more. They're not going to. Health insurance companies are not going to be very keen on raising premiums, because they're raising premiums already a ton. So, and they're already fighting the government on raising premiums on the ACA. So, I think that's the kind of stuff that is more fundamentally based. And when we start releasing new stock tickers, particularly as it relates to pharmaceuticals, that's when I would start looking and say, oh, how are people positioned? Because I think that news took everybody off guard, and I think the market is still adjusting to it. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think what's interesting with this one is whether Trump actually wants to do the right thing, or is he after the right deal, which is this his opportunity of trying to break something in the BRICS movement with India, right? Which a lot of our pharmaceutical comes from that country, right? Or the world, I
India
should
too,
say,
yeah.
does. Yeah. So if a lot of it's come from India, and especially you have, I mean, think a lot of your generic, think your generic, ibuprofen or whatever it is at your local supermarket. A lot of that comes from right there, right? So I think ultimately I'm curious if this becomes a Taco Tuesday like scenario, right? Taco trade, I mean, not Taco Tuesday, although that sounds delicious. I'm curious how Trump and team react to this, right? I think there's obviously huge benefits for the consumer here if he does the right thing in his administration. But obviously, I don't think they've done everything for the right thing for the people, and mainly more for corporations, right, Wiz? So I think there's an opportunity for him to change something here, but this feels to me like a nothing burger, honestly.
Yeah, I'm
Fair?
looking now at where who exports the most drugs. I mean, obviously America imports the most drugs by quite a bit, but yeah, I'm looking now at pharmaceutical exports.
I'm kind of curious who's holding number one.
Yeah, because I mean, we basically both said the same. We both. Oh, that's interesting. Leading exporters of pharmaceuticals in 2024 include Germany at number 1,
Makes sense.
Switzerland at number 2, United States at number 3. So this is just, European countries accounted for 79.7% of global pharmaceutical exports, Germany and Switzerland being the largest contributors. Belgium, 82 billion, Ireland, 71 billion. That's interesting. There you go.
We're
both wrong, man.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it changes our thesis very much, but that's pretty and the United States is the largest importer of pharmaceuticals at 18% of global market share. There you go. I thought China was a lot bigger than it is. It is. They're not China. India is number 12 and China is number 16.
Interesting.
India has grown over the past year. China has reduced quite a bit over the past year by about 33 billion. So I guess my data was just dated on the Chinese thing, and India increased by 20 billion. So that's interesting. There you go. United States had the largest decline in. So yeah.
Well, what's also interesting is that China and India are one of the. I'm digging in with you here because now I'm curious, right? They're particularly significant in the manufacturing of what they call APIs, not like the technology, communication platform of a database to a front end, maybe, but basically that stands for active pharmaceutical ingredients, which they're the chemically or biologically active components in a drug that's supposed to produce the intended effect, the diagnosis, the curing, the mitigation, treating or preventing the disease. So the majority of those, they're happening in China and India. So I think we're still a little bit right here, and I'm going with that.
So the opium. Got it.
Yes.
All right. Do we have any other questions? Yeah, Johannes, all excited about Germany's export. Germany's export.
I was waiting for them to come in here sometime.
Yeah, we have a lot of German. We have a strong German contingent in Volland, so I'm sure they're very excited about their economy. We'll take your drugs. We won't take your cars anymore, though. I'll have to do more tariffs on that. So,
I
all
like
right.
their
Well,
cars though.
yeah, I thought our shook the rust off of our market move show here, Jay, and yeah, I guess have a good week, Jay, and may Volland help you in your future trading ventures.
Thank you.